Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reacts where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Carolane titled Shame, and if we switch over to here we have ourselves a track on SoundCloud, Alternative Rock. We got the art up on the screen, I believe that to be Carolane if I'm not mistaken. We're going to listen through this track from start to finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it. I like the radio filtering there, it's kind of dope.
Came back home with all, thinking that things would change. All my expectations gone, to bring you away there. Now here I stay, it's too late. I thought we were on the way, but I fell in the hell. Where's the best that we promised ourselves? I really believed in you and in us. Now here I stay, it's too late. I thought we were on the way, but I fell in the hell. Can you tell me why I cry? All of these nights bind my heart. Why can't you see?
Nice use of double time with the drums.
Misery, you're the one to blame. Shame.
So I feel like if there was any feedback, it's simply just looking at how the vocals are leveled volume-wise with the rest of the elements within the arrangement. I know that's easier to said than done, especially when we're starting to learn these things. Because I feel like we have some really interesting vocal melodies that I think communicate what we're discussing really well. And, you know, fundamentally in regards to theory, like the melodies and harmonies involved, they niche. You know, it's just kind of getting those things together in post. It's great to have this dynamic range to it, going down like this for an interlude.
Feels way too nice having to hand away. I can't tell myself that we were a mistake. Was our story already written? In fact, I lie, it's never too late. Feels between us having to hand away. I can't tell myself that we were a mistake. Was our story already written? In fact, I lied, it's never too late. All of these nights blind my heart. Why can't you see misery? You're the one to blame. Shame.
I like those kind of ambient guitar parts on the sides there. Yeah, I feel like we've got the ingredients for a great track, and we're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Carolane titled Shame. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think this track discusses maybe the feelings they have of shame about the situation they had in a previous relationship, or the feelings they had for someone else, how they kind of maybe regretted or they feel like their time's been wasted. It's a bitter feeling for them to sort of contend with all those nights, you know, just kind of working through that. Now, I feel like it's a story that a lot of people are going to be able to relate to, so I think that that's effective in that regard, and it seems authentic to what they've been going through. One of the things I do appreciate are the vocal melodies and the expression behind it. I feel like we've got a lot of really good ideas that we're trying to explore within this track, and the vast majority of it is implemented really well. There's some occasional parts where I feel like we kind of go for more kind of like a raw or breathy feel, where it mostly gets there. And I appreciate legato passages where we kind of go between notes with the chromatics. I dig that. It's just simply, as we continue to develop as a vocalist, I feel like we're going to find more and more comfort in our range, and I look forward to hearing that when we get to that point. But for now, I think it's a good first impression, and I like a lot of the melodies and ideas and how they interact and harmonize with the guitar, bass, drum parts, etc. I feel like that's strong, you know. Because fundamentally, the structure of this track is another thing that I appreciate here. It's interesting how we go between those different verses and choruses. That interlude section in the later half was fantastic as well, how it came down and we had that slow build coming up with the drums integrating back in. I think that kind of interesting, almost like Bring Me the Horizon-ish kind of intro there with the distorted guitars there, working with those power chords there. The way we had the strings on top, they're kind of, or synth pads kind of like on top, kind of cascading over, was really sweet. The drums throughout this track were incredible with the wide variety of different quarter, eighth, and 16th grooves there with occasional triplets and some tom fills. Just really adept with the way we kind of had both like on-beat and syncopated parts, and the bass line underneath sort of like formatting stuff well. So instrumentally and structurally, I feel like it was solid. And again, it was nice to have that spacey interlude there with much less those ambient textures and parallel majors there. It was smart. Just great to have range there compositionally as well. Because with good use of that 3 minutes 10, it comes down to, I think, the way, again, I will sort of speak thematically here. I think that the minor key here leaning the way that we phrased things with the full range of the frequency spectrum from a layering perspective explored there. I just think the actual style of music as well, with those kind of hard-hitting guitars, the drum beats there, the edginess of the guitar tones match some of the feelings that we were trying to express vocally, and I feel like there was sort of a thematic connection both texturally as well as with the rock or metal kind of choices here, you know, fundamental alternative rock. And I think just as a closing comment, when we did go down, things were quieter. It kind of evoked a sense of complexity with the way that we were trying to sort of like, we were processing the situation. It wasn't just black and white that we were upset and angry, and that was what it is. There was almost like a healing or a grieving process that we were going through as we went through that journey with that piece. So in terms of like overall feedback, I think just again, it's about exploring the way that we leveled these tracks within the mix. I think the volume of the vocals in some parts was louder than the rest of the track. This can be kind of attended to by checking how the song sounds when you put it into mono, like through a one speaker system, or just double checking via phone speakers before we upload, just to confirm that the vocals aren't too prominent. But mixing takes time to get the hang of, especially if we're sort of learning to do our own stuff. It takes a bit of time, and if we're singing on top of a backing track or like the instruments have already put into a mix, it can be difficult to get the vocals to integrate there cleanly. So I feel like as like a first step and as a learning curve, I feel this is a good beginning. And yeah, if we can just find a way to sort of get those vocals sitting naturally with those guitar, bass, and drum parts for next time, it'll be really solid. And I look forward to hearing what happens when we get there. But outside of comments with mixing, I feel like ultimately there's a lot of positives about this track. I think it's a good first impression. And that's effectively my review of this track from an act named Carolane titled Shame, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and SoundCloud page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.